some questions.
Question, okay. Few questions.
So, a couple of questions.
Okay.
Your birthday's coming up on July the 6th. What would you want as a present for your 80th birthday?
Nothing. As I mentioned earlier, you see, these points which I really feel serious concern. So, if you think more and if you sort of also feel this is something important, then try to implement and also share more people. That's the best because of the gift of my birthday, right? Like that.
And your Holiness.
Then usually you see the European sort of style, a birthday, one cake, and then one sort of a candle, and then extra work. I think without you see that candle, just enjoy cake. That's good. Recently, you see, Bishop Tutu, you see, my long time my friend, you see, he, I think, in spite his physical condition and his age, you see, he came to Dharamsala and a few days also to talk in front of camera, television, like that. So then, the part of one program, of his program, you see, he also visited Tibetan children's village. I also went there. Then, you see, surprisingly, you see, they arranged one cake, birthday cake. Then I don't know how to handle. Then Bishop Tutu, firstly, you see, start happy birthday to you. And he also, you see, some kind of danced. And then, although you see, not 80 candles were, some candles. And then we both jointly. So like that.
We have another question from one of our audience members, Your Holiness, in Noka, and they ask, will there be another after you?
That depends on the circumstances. As early as 69, I formally, officially stated the very institution of Dalai Lama should continue or not up to Tibetan people, concerned people. Then, 2011, now I totally, retired from any political responsibility. So actually, not only myself retired, but also, you see, almost 4th century old tradition. Since 5th Dalai Lama, the Dalai Lama institution automatically become head of both temporal and spirituality. Now that formally, happily, voluntarily cease, ended. So sometimes I jokingly used to telling people, there's that sort of practice where that kind of tradition start from 5th Dalai Lama. So if 5th Dalai Lama reappear, whether he support or not, I don't know. But there's no danger to reappear. So okay, I decided. So you see, we already have, as far as refugee community is concerned, we already have elected political leadership. So that's very healthy sign. After all, world belongs to humanity. And Australia, for example, Australia belongs to Australian people, not this party or that party. And some occasion I express, you see, England belongs to English people, great people of Great Britain, not Queen. Similarly, Japan. Japan belongs to Japanese people, not Japanese emperor. Okay. Do you have some argument? So theoretically, similarly, Tibet case also, you see, Tibet belongs to Tibetan people, not Dalai institution. It's gone. This sort of old sort of system. These sort of institutions started at the time of the social system is feudal system. So this should go, should change. So no matter some drawbacks in democratic system, but still I think best system in order to govern the country by people. There's people elected leader, and the people always have this sort of right to ask government. And if government or if the leader not doing well, and people have power to change. So democratic system is the best system. Like that. So I don't know this Dharma institution will continue after me, will continue or not. That's up to people, concerned people, a Tibetan and also Mongolian, and also some people like that. So this is not my business, like that. My main concern is now 80 years old. Perhaps another 15, 20 years could be used some sort of service to humanity and Buddha Dharma. Then after 90 years, 95 years, then I don't think no more use. Then I will say, although I think some problem my knees, but this is okay. Occasionally I mentioned I can come on wheelchair, and so long my mouth can use blah 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 blah. Then okay I come. Like that. Yes. Next question.
And next question is, thank you, Your Holiness, for visiting us. Why did you choose to come here to Uluru?
As I developed some interest, and also out of my sort of respect for elders, and local people, or indigenous people. So I come. So yesterday I reached. This morning I really feel some sort of meaningful, because to interact, I really feel like that. Except that worm saw a little bit uncomfortable, otherwise no problem. Yes. Yeah.
Well, Your Holiness, they've asked us to wrap it up now. Would you like one more question before we...
And one last question.
One last question.
I have two questions.
Your Holiness, will any of the wisdom that you gather in this lifetime travel with you on the next life?
가자. Some impact. This is certain experience. This lifetime, some kind of imprint, right, in the more subtle level of consciousness, settle there. So subtle level of consciousness continuously go. Grosser level of consciousness very much related with this brain. So each life, each human life, new brain. So, for example, some my friend, when they experience through meditation some kind of deeper experience related with subtle mind, then sometimes they reflect about past life, like that. And also my own case, although I have not that kind of sort of deeper experience, but in my dream, certainly it's a certain grosser level of mind then become inactive. So the more subtler level of consciousness then more active. So sometimes in my dream, there's a certain sort of experience of memory about some past life. One occasion in my dream, very, very clear sort of dream, I was in prison in Egypt almost 1,000 years ago. So they, what to call, the Egyptian king, pharaohs, quite naked, and on a high sort of place on her seat. I don't know. You see, and then of course some sort of little memory in dream time, not awakened time, dream sort of time. Sometimes there's some memory about one great Indian master. I remember that, like that. So whether true or not, I don't know. Some these are mysterious things. So in any way, it's a certain experience in the deeper level of consciousness, it carries continuously. So I think the children, even trained, same parent, same facility, but some, you see, some certain things learn very quickly, some or another more difficult. So these same sort of facility, same opportunity, same parent, twin, but there are differences. We, of course, very detailed brain cell, you see, there are differences. I think 7 billion human beings, the same skull, is the same brain, but very detailed level differences. So 7 billion human beings, you see, look, one object, but because of their different sort of brain, you see, they may see something different. One of my friend, one scientist, Bob Livingston, now he no longer. You see, he once told me, 6 billion human beings look sort of world. Each one have used different sort of perceptions. So that also is a factor, but from the sort of viewpoint of continuation of life after life, then we also see have that kind of explanation, a certain experience which experience in deeper level, or I mean this grosser level of mind, much deeper experience, it sort of impact in deeper level of consciousness. Now that make differences next life. Okay.
And
I think you see my own sort of experience. When I was young, study, I was quite lazy student. But then However, this is some sort of my knowledge or understanding, certain difficult philosophical sort of views, philosophical points. When I discuss with some top scholars, you see, sometimes as a lazy student, not sufficient time, but knowledge or understanding, compare such top scholars. Sometimes, you see, not bad. So that certain object, you see, certain subject seems, you see, to me very easy. So that's, I think, some sort of familiarity of the past life. Then certain sort of what's the because the subject very difficult to know. So that is the one sort of indication I feel. Some sort of acquaintance, the previous life, it makes differences this life.
And the last question, Your Holiness, is from Hasishito, and it says, you're now living in northern India. Do you think you will ever go back to Tibet?
Oh, 그렇죠. So already. That's, I think things are changing. I think people from China, today's people from China, compare 40 years ago and even 30 years ago, much already changed, still changing. And then particularly the present Xi Jinping, she seems more realistic and also quite courageous person, now tackling this corruption, immense corruption. I think he really courageously is tackling this problem. And then last year, when he was in Europe, in Paris, he expressed Buddhism is important part of Chinese culture. And then later his visit in New Delhi, also he sort of same expression. So this is something quite unusual. A communist leader now telling something positive about Buddhism. It's quite new, isn't it? Quite new. Then is his father, I know, Shi Tushin. I know quite well. And then late Panchen Lama eventually became very close friend of him. Like that. And then today, China, over 400 million Buddhist population. Huge population, Buddhist population. So many of these Buddhists now showing interest about Tibetan Buddhist tradition, which is more intact than Nalanda tradition through rigorous study. So it's more and more the Chinese Buddhists really showing interest about that. So these are, I think, more positive sort of factor, like that. So things are changing. And the whole world, as I mentioned earlier, compare early part of 20th century and later part of 20th century, as in human beings thinking becoming much more mature, more realistic. So although beginning of this 21st century, some unhealthy things, unhappy events here and there, but there's pockets. Overall picture, I think world becoming much better, much safer. And then these sort of pockets sort of violence, these problems, clearly symptom of past negligence, past mistake. So if we make attempt now, I think later part of this century, I think world can be more peaceful, more compassionate. It's possible through education, on including secular ethics. I want to make clear, when I use the word secular, according to Indian understanding, about Indian understanding, secular means respect all religions and also respect non-believer. Whereas in the West, secular means disrespect religion and distance from religion. Even some sort of people consider secular very close with atheism. But according to Indian understanding, no. Secular means, as I mentioned earlier, respect all religion, and also some important thing is secular, according to Indian understanding, respect also non-believer. So that is something very relevant to today's world. Taking those one time, so now today's reality, out of 7 billion human beings, over 1 billion non-believer. These also human beings, part of humanity. They also want happy life. They are also part of the humanity. So we have to bring together. So the Indian, according to Indian understanding, the secular respect, including non-believer, is very relevant, very realistic. So we are approaching, including many of my friends, great scientists, and a social worker, and educationists. They already sort of, once they realize this, so making effort. In America, there's some well-known scientist already you see carry as a sort of as an experimental sort of project. They already carry over now more than 10 years. Result very convincing. So more and more people are showing interest. Some city in America, already they give the name city of kindness, city of compassion. Now I'm going there July. So I met some sort of mayor, actually used to come to see me. They since few years ago, you see, they already sort of give the name, the city, Kasa.
Anna.
Anna. I don't know the name, Kasa.
Anaheim City.
Anaheim. Where? Anaheim or something. I don't know. So already you see, give the name, city of kindness. I met. I give him every encouragement. So now, some of the city, more city. And another occasion, I think 2-3 years ago, so one occasion my visit, there are, I think, a few cities mayor come together, and they all, you see, seriously consider each city being city's name as the city of compassion, like that. So this, and then Canada, the Columbia as the state, correct? British Columbia, yes, British Columbia. They already sort of implementing from kindergarten some education about moral ethics. secular basis. And then a few years ago, Quebec, some sort of was the group of teacher, they invited me. He said they are seriously discussing about how to promote ethics in school, like that. So based on secular way. So there are more and more people really showing serious concern about the lacking negligence about this inner value in education field. So this is very, very hopeful sign. Then other day, Sydney, brief meeting, some scholars. Actually, one lady, she mentioned the practice of love, and especially action out of love, out of compassion, really brings physical health. So simply practice love, some positive effect, but she found, or some of her sort of friend, expert is found, even implementing compassion, that's serving other people, helping other people, that action really makes very, very positive effect for health. Like that. So these are the scientific finding. So we can use our common experience, common sense, then scientific sort of finding. We can teach from kindergarten up to university level. Like that. So whole world is changing. So People's Republic of China is most populated nation, an ancient nation. I'm quite sure the Chinese people, long cultural history. Oh, if you have the opportunity, think seriously. Then you can make significant contribution for well-being of humanity. Because very, very sort of now 1.3 to 4 billions population, like that. Sometimes your country little bit close society, not much information about outside world. So some of these Chinese students come from mainland China. I met many of them in America or Europe or Japan or Australia here also. They found some sort of differences when they heard when they are in China, and when they see outside personally, then they found some gap. One occasion in America, one Chinese from mainland China, came to see me, and he told me till he saw me at my one public sort of talk. Till that, he felt Dalai Lama is old person, very narrow-minded person. After he listened my talk, then he realized Dalai Lama is something different than his sort of imagination, imagination, according to their information. So he came to see me like that. So it happened like that. Like that. So things are changing. People from China, no matter how powerful, still part of the world. World is changing. China bound to changing, isn't it? Like that. In Australia, because of the land location, you are isolated, but still part of the world. World change, European economic crisis, you also felt that. So that's the, you are part of the world. So like that. Isn't it? Thank you. Good night. Good night. Good night. 谢谢。谢谢。谢谢。谢谢。
Ngaphepa himbe sunamche Ngapuri himbe poache Ngaphepa himbe sunamche Ngapuri himbe poache shiye Ngaphepa himbe sunamche Ngapuri himbe poache Ngaphepa himbe sunamche Ngapuri himbe poache shiye Ngaphepa himbe sunamche Ngapuri himbe poache Ngaphepa himbe sunamche